It's 11:05 a.m. It's currently October 20th, 2025, and a lot has happened recently. A lot has happened. Since the last time I think I did, one of my journaling things when I was doing my externship for my phlebotomy. And I was doing that over in Vegas and all that stuff, and I stayed out in Vegas for like an entire month, and it took me like a while to take my licensing exam and all that stuff, but I ended up getting my license, and then I ended up get going somewhere to work as a phlebotomist. So I've been a phlebotomist for quite a while now, and I get a lot of compliments as well, saying that I have angel hands now. A lot of people don't feel my pokes and all that stuff. So even though I haven't even been doing it for that long, I feel like I've been doing pretty fucking good in that area and all that stuff. And finally, I got the courage to leave someone that I was on and off with for like 2.5 years and all that stuff. I wouldn't even consider him a whole ass boyfriend, but he came all the way up here to Reno to like visit me and all that stuff, and like we had fun and all that. And I don't know, it just took all the way until like winter time for me to really just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, because then I realized that I was being like, I don't know, like my acne was just terrible. It was so bad. And then he just like every single time I like went back to him, I swear he was just like getting like more fucking powerful and more just like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like he was like low key like stealing all of my fucking energy. That shit was pissing me off. Well, anyways, so did that, and then after that happened and all that stuff, I went, I still stayed in school and all that. I did my classes, and then I ended up leaving the place where I was staying at. So I ended up homeless for like about 4 months there and all that. So I ended up homeless, ended up having to go stay at a friend's uncle's house, like just totally just in places where I should not have been. Not in a bad way, just more so the fact that I didn't have anywhere else to like go and all that. And so during that time there's been oh my god, there's been a lot of people. I mean, there's Miles, and then there was Gian, and then there was Oren, and then there was, oh my fucking god, like so many fucking guys, bro. And I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken over, I guess, those three main ones, honestly, even though the reality of all of it is that I wasn't even with these people for like more than two of them I was with for like a month officially, I guess you can kind of say, and then the other one was like for a couple of months. But either way, I still wouldn't even consider that to be any of my boyfriends, because like, it just ended in such a short period of time, and because of the way that things had left off and all that stuff, I just would not consider those to be a boyfriend or of some sort of any type. So I still officially have only had one actual relationship. Um the one relationship that was almost 4 years long, and you know was like toxic as fuck. And so, and even though that ended like over 2 years ago or something like that, maybe over 2.5 years ago, it was quite a while ago that happened. Ever since then, I was just kind of was like, I don't want this to happen anymore. Like, I don't want to be begging for someone's attention. Like, if people want to leave, then I'm just gonna fucking let them leave and all that stuff. So even though I was like super heartbroken, I've had my heart broken like a few times, like since then and all that stuff. Like at the end of the day, like the more and more I just get my heart broken, like I feel like the more I'm just like, I don't know, I don't know. I just get a lot of, I don't even know what the word is, introspection. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's given me a lot of opportunity to really look into myself and be like, whoa, like, oh my God, like, I really, really want this standard, and I want this and I want that. And so I feel like, I've been like reflecting back on all of that stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I really need this specific attribute from my partner. And so I've been thinking about that a lot lately. That, especially after the last one, which happened last Tuesday, actually. That happened on last Tuesday, so that hasn't even been like a whole fucking week since that's happened and stuff. And I was crying so hard like the whole day. Like I ended up triggering my migraine, and I had like the worst migraine I've had for like the entire year so far. But it's like, I just had to let it out. Like I was so frustrated, and my eyes were so puffy and all that. And, I just cried and cried for like those first 2 days. And then afterwards, I was just kind of was like, holy shit. Like, even if we were to get back together, in all reality, like, we couldn't even get back together because, like, in the long run, like, I was thinking about it. Was like, there's just no way. Like, I don't see myself even long term with this person, and because he was like, oh, like, we need a break, we need to do this. And I was like, well, not gonna fucking do a break. We're either gonna fucking break up or we're gonna be together. Why the fuck would we have like an entire break? And mind you, I waited an entire fucking month for him to come back to the fucking city. And so waited an entire month for him to come back just for us to hang out for those 2 days. And then he dropped it on me, and I was like, what the fuck? And so, I mean, like, at the end of the day, I feel like I really lowered my standards, like, because, like, love was just, like, not gonna, like, make us last through anything. Love was just not gonna keep us through everything that we needed to go through, because at the end of the day, like, every single fucking relationship, or I wouldn't even say relationship, like, people I was dating and people that I was, like, engaged with and all that stuff, like, the whole time, like, they're like literally paying for everything. They're paying for our dates, they're taking me out and planning things and just like being very thoughtful in that sense. And don't get me wrong, like, he was very thoughtful and he was doing those things, but in the long run he wasn't going to be able to do that for me, like, like everyone else, like paying for my gas and paying for my food and paying for this and paying for that and all that stuff. And so that's why I just kind of was like, yeah, at the end of the day, like, it's probably not gonna happen because he didn't even have a fucking job. I mean, he was gonna get a job, but, and now that I'm saying this out loud, like, the worst, like, it just sounds like so much more worse than it actually is, because, like, I guess I don't have on my love goggles anymore. And so as I'm saying this stuff out loud, I'm literally like, oh my fucking god, like, oh my god, like, don't get me wrong, he was a very nice person, very thoughtful and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, like, wow. In all reality, I actually ended up very much lowering my standards like a motherfucker. So, you know tried to deal with all those apps and all that stuff, but I think I'm over the fucking apps. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I don't want to deal with the apps. I don't want to deal with people online and all that. So I'm making myself go out, and I'm going out to fucking meet people organically, okay? Because if I don't meet people organically and all that stuff, all I'm gonna get if I try to do it online is all these people who aren't really trying to like connect with you. They are just like there for like validation and just to see if they can just like pull. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I just feel like that was just like the whole vibes of everything when I was like on the apps and all that stuff. And mind you, I wasn't even on those fucking apps for long whatsoever. I had each of them. Like, I had the Bumble, Hinge, and Tinder. I ended up getting banned off of Tinder. I only had that for like a week and a half, and then I had Bumble for like 2 weeks, but that was like 2 years ago or a year ago. And then I had Hinge, only had Hinge for like a week and a half. I didn't get banned or anything like that, but I definitely I didn't keep those things for very long, because like at the end of the day, like a lot of the people on there were just like, they weren't there for dating. They were there just to like, I don't know, feel good about themselves. It was, I don't know, the vibes were fucking off like completely there. But yeah, I'm just trying to get through school right now. That's really the main thing. Get through microbiology. I mean, I have my midterm practical lab practical on Tuesday or tomorrow, and then so I'm just really just trying to get through that stuff because, and then I have to get my car serviced today. I have to get an oil change. But I'm pretty excited to go to school today, you know. I feel like I was really like in a depression ever since like school started, or like just that whole period between like school starting until now. Like, I feel like I wasn't really taking care of myself like how I was supposed to. And everyone around me who knows me, who's my friend, like they know that like I'll get up every single day and I'll dress the fuck up and I'll put on my fucking makeup, you know, because like that is just something I have to do every single day because like it not only makes me feel good, but it's just like, you know, that's like self-care to me. It's just like taking care of myself, putting on makeup, making sure I look cute, putting on my accessories and all that. And so, you know, like I wasn't doing that this entire time, like all the way up until this point. And then I realized after, you know, he broke up with me on Tuesday, I was like, wait a fucking minute, like I am getting so far away from my roots and who I am as like a fucking person, because at the end of the day, like first of all, I lowered my fucking standards for this bitch. And secondly, okay, and secondly, I can get whoever the fuck I want. I mean, like, at the end of the motherfucking day, if I were to go up to someone and all that stuff and ask them out, at the end of the day, if they did have a fucking girlfriend or boyfriend, like, they wouldn't be fucking offended if I were to go up to them and be like, you're cute, let's date, or whatever. I'm just shy as fuck. Like, I'm literally just, like, I just have fucking anxiety about that shit because I already don't even know how to flirt or anything like that. Okay? So, at the end of the fucking day, like I had to like remind myself like, actually, like, no, that's not how this is gonna go. Like, I can literally get whoever I want, but I can't get whoever I want if I don't go out and socialize and actually meet people and actually just like make those connections. So, you know, in my mind, I'm just like doing something I like, finding that activity that I like to do where it involves multiple people, going to that activity, and then number one is just like overall just like make friends with whoever. Like I don't really care who they are, you know. They can be older than me, they can be a little bit younger than me, like it really doesn't matter. Just that's the first intention, is just like making friends and all that, and just getting to know every every person that I want as a friend and all that stuff, just getting to know them a little bit deeper and just like making those connections to like go hang out and just go do this and do all these other things. And then on the sidelines, you know, behind the scenes, you know, if there is anyone that I'm actually interested in getting to know a little bit better, just going in and just being like, let's get to know each other. Let's see if we even share those same values, those same standards, and all that stuff, and just go from there, you know? And I feel like that's just gonna be the best thing for me to do right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm still focused on school. I still love school. I'm still 100% gonna be putting my all into school. I've always done that regardless, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I gotta go to school.